All right, I think I'm live. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to all of you to week 8 of the Unstoppable in 2021 series. If you're here and if you are watching this and if you are able to hear me, just type in yes and ready in the chat, and we'll get started with this week's session. I started this series, and it's really fantastic. It's amazing the way some of you have been consistently attending these sessions and partnering with me on this journey. So this series of this entire series of becoming unstoppable in 2021, it's towards learning and growing together, right? So learning and growing together towards excellence in our life and career. And whatever you're learning in this entire series, week on week, I'm bringing you different concepts, different techniques, different modalities, and sometimes something which I have learned from different people, which will help you in different areas of your life, whether it's relationship, whether it's career, whether it's with respect to health, your emotional well-being, and all of that is we are going to cover throughout these 52 weeks of sessions in 2021. So thank you everyone for joining in. And if you're joining in while the session is also on, just type in hi and let me know where you're joining from, so I would know that I am speaking with someone. Okay, and as we go through the session, if you have any questions, please do type in the chat, okay, so that I can take it up. So today, what I'm going to share with you is about procrastination and how to deal with procrastination. Now, a question to all of you who will be watching this now or later is, do you procrastinate? How many of you procrastinate? I think I may be generalizing when I say this, that we all do procrastinate at some point or the other. If someone says, I don't procrastinate at all, it possibly might be a myth. Okay, so this is my point of view, what I have been observing. So I'm generalizing here. I know that we all procrastinate at some level in different aspects. So if you do procrastinate, let me know in the chat that yeah, I do procrastinate, and we will understand why we procrastinate. We'll understand the reasons behind procrastination and avoiding doing things. And what I'm going to teach you in today's interaction, in today's session, is a very simple method that you can implement right away and see how things start to change for you from day one itself. Amazing, right? So I have used it. Many of my clients have also used it, and they are finding a lot of value in that. So I would really urge you to implement that and see how things change for you, and share with me later once you have done it. So let's understand let's understand why we procrastinate. Okay, so whether you want to do something with respect to your health, you want to join a fitness session, you want to join yoga or taking care of your health, or you're working on a project at work. Okay, you have this new initiative that you really want to take up. You have been delaying going to your manager and sharing that because your plan is not ready with you yet. So you feel that I'm not ready. So when I'm ready, I'll go and talk to my manager. Or it could be something with respect to let's say you want to do a video. Okay, I know that when I wanted to start doing these live sessions on Facebook, I think 1.5 year back, I was literally procrastinating. I don't have stage fear, but doing it live on Facebook, it's a different thing altogether. So I know how I have been procrastinating. But eventually what happens is when you start doing it, slowly you get into the habit of doing things, and slowly the procrastination also goes away. So anyways, so understanding the reasons of procrastination. Now, let me give you an example. In our daily life, our daily habits that we have, when we wake up in the morning, we brush our teeth, right? We take bath, okay? We eat food, we drink water. So there we don't procrastinate. Not really. Sometimes we do, but then generally we don't procrastinate, right? So it's become a part of our life. It's like a habit. So we wake up, we do this. Lunch, when it's in the afternoon, we have a lunch. In the night, we have a dinner, and all that has become like a process for us, which is because of the habit that we have created over a longer period, over years. So there, the procrastination is either nil or very minimum to some extent. Procrastination occurs when we start working on something which is not a part of our habit, which is something new for us, for our brain, for our mind to think that, oh, okay, so this is something new which is coming to me, it may make me very uncomfortable. We start to think like that, this new aspect which I'm going to work on, it's going to make me uncomfortable. And with that, we start giving a lot of reasons why we don't want to work on a particular thing, and we delay doing that thing. That eventually leads to procrastination. So if you see, so what I'm trying to bring over here to your awareness, to your attention, is when it's a habit, procrastination is minimum, none or minimum. When it's not a habit, we procrastinate, and hence it takes time. We must give a lot of attention to create habit so that the level of procrastination reduces. Now think of anything. Here is what I want you all to do. Okay, think of something that you have been delaying, any project or anything. If you wanted to work on a video, if you wanted to give a call to someone, if you wanted to take up a new project, take up a new assignment, or take up a new task, or you have been wanting to work on your financials, or you wanted to create a program, or whatever you have been wanting to do, but you have been delaying that. So think about that. And while thinking about that, now bring into your awareness, your attention, what happens to you when you start working on that? Typically what happens when you start working on that. Now suppose say you want to create a project plan. The moment you start to work on your project plan, you think that, okay, so I need a snack to start working on it. Without a snack, I can't work. Or if you are a chai drinker like me, you would say that I need a cup of chai to get going, to begin this, right? So you would go to the kitchen, make a cup of coffee, chai, and then you say, okay, now I'm ready. Then your mind starts giving a lot of other excuses. Oh, I need to go to the bathroom before I get started. Or I need to switch off the fan so that or switch on the AC so that I'm comfortable. So all these are the background work that happens in our mind when we start to work on something. Let me know if you have faced any of this. So these are excuses and reasons and things that we start thinking about that leads us to delay or leads us to procrastinate and not do things. Another thing, and please use the chat to share the reasons why you procrastinate, what happens to you when you start to work on something. Another thing is fear. And fear of failure, or fear of what happens if I don't get it. The fear of uncertainty, when you do not know the steps that you need to take to work on something. There also you start fearing, you become afraid of things. So fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, and sometimes the task at hand would seem to be so big that it starts to overwhelm you. Okay? Let me know if you're feeling overwhelmed right now with respect to that particular task, anything that you want to work on. So overwhelm, fear of failure, fear of uncertainty. And then if you think about it, another thing which may come to your mind is lack of time. Right? I don't have enough time to work on this. So all these are the kind of excuses that we keep telling ourselves. We try to convince ourselves that delays we working on a certain task. So which of these do you face? Do you feel? Which of these do you feel that makes you delay working on whatever you're working on right now, whatever you really want to work on, but you have been just neglecting that, avoiding doing it, right? So let me know in the chat, and if you've been facing any of this. And let's understand how we can work, how can we deal with this procrastination. Okay, I'm going to teach you the 24/4/6 method right now. And before that, let me quickly say hi to Shelja. Hi, it's good to see you. Yes, we all do. We all do procrastinate, right? So, for some people, now whatever I'm going to share with you, please understand it's not a one formula or one solution that fits all. Okay, you apply this and see how this works for you. Okay? It's like making a checklist. For some people, when you're working on a task, if having a checklist works for you beautifully well. Whereas for some people, if you look at it, the moment you look at a checklist, you start to feel afraid. You start feeling overwhelmed with that checklist. That is so many. I have to do so many things. So some of my clients are there okay with having checklist, and some few of the clients they say we don't want checklist. We just want to do it on the go. So checklist versus on the go. So different people, different ways of working, right? So choose whatever works for you. So what I'm going to share, let me come to the 24/4/6 method. So what I'm going to share here with you with respect to 24/4/6 method will help you deal with that level of that fear, that the fear of uncertainty, feeling overwhelmed when a task seems to be a Herculean task. You can use the 24/4/6 method to feel that anxiety when you're working on something. It will fairly ease out. Make it more comfortable for you to start working on those tasks and minimize your level of procrastination. Yeah. Okay. So let's understand what is 24/4/6 method. If you've ever used 24/4/6 method, so if you've been a part of my community and clients, I use this, I teach this method, right? So if you've used this, let me know in the chat that yes, 24/4, I have used 24/4/6. And if it's new for you, you're learning this for the first time, hearing it for the first time, then type in first time in the comment, and you will not find this on the Google, because this is a method which I have developed by doing it myself and by experimenting on others as well, and understanding how this works for them. So you will learn it here itself. You will not find it on Google. Now, what is 24/4/6 method? 24 is 24 hours in the day, right? So 24/4/6 is to divide our 24 hours of the day into different segments. Now, if you are someone who really gets overwhelmed with many things, who really gets overwhelmed with the checklist, with so many things on your diary, then you start by taking small segments. You start by creating 4 segments. Divide your 24 hours into 4 segments, and each segment will have 6 hours. Okay, so 6 hours. 4 segments, that makes your 24 hours. Now suppose say you wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so your 4 segments would be 6 a.m. to 12 noon, 12 noon to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 12 in the night, and again 12 in the night to 6 a.m. right? So create those 4 segments and then assign one task. You heard me right. Assign one task or one action to each of those segments. Just one. So you will have 4 actions that you are willing to take. It's not you're willing to take. Okay. And what happens is when you are assigning one action or one task, putting it under that one segment of 6 hours each, if you look at it, you're getting a whole 6 hours, so much of time to do that one single task, to work on that one single action. So you see what happens over here. Instead of compressing it to 1 hour or 30 minutes of schedule or 2 hours of schedule, to assigning one action under those 6 hours. So from say 6 a.m. to 12 noon, if you're assigning, okay, I'm going to exercise for 30 minutes, you have 6 hours, and you can that allows you a lot of flexibility. Either you can do it in the early half of the 6 hours or the later half. The objective is to complete that one single action in those 6 hours. So when you start doing this, you just have 4 actions towards. So take that project. So how are you going to design these actions? You design and frame these actions basis that goal that you have. We have been learning about goal, right? Now see, so this is like a sequence also. These sessions that I'm doing with you, we started by goal setting. We learned about how to create those well-formed outcomes. So I'm assuming that you are now clear on the kind of goals you want. So when you're working on the 24/4/6 method and when you're designing those actions for yourself, have those actions in alignment with one goal. Start with one goal. Okay, don't overwhelm yourself. Okay, so 6 a.m. to 12 noon, one action. 12 noon to 6 p.m., another action. Okay, you have 6 hours. So on and so forth. So you will have 4 different actions that you will be taking on one single day. Four actions. Now this isn't it easy? Yeah, isn't it easy? Type in easy in the chat. You know what happens when you start doing this? When you look at, if you're someone who keeps on writing every day task, which is a good thing. Even I do. Sometimes even I forget. I also procrastinate. So when you see that entire list, कि कितने सारे task हैं आज मुझे करने के लिए, आपके दिमाग में आता है यार रहने दो. No, what happens? You will start seeing that a lot of things are pending on that list because we feel very overwhelmed, and in that overwhelm we just leave everything there, right, instead of focusing. So this method allows you to focus, bring your focus on the task as well, right? So think of those 4 actions. Now I'll tell you what kind of actions you must write. If you are dividing your 24 hours into 4 sections of 6 hours each, take 3 actions. 4 sections hai aapke paas. So the 3 choose any 3 sections and add actions which are relevant to your goal. And in the last one, which is like say 12 in the night to 6 a.m. in the last segment, add nice, deep, relaxed sleep. Add this action. So this is one action which I'm asking you to write, right? Nice, deep, relaxed sleep. So when you are writing this action for yourself, all those people who face difficulty in sleeping in the night, you are giving a command. So start giving a command to your brain, and your brain starts to work with you, and you will start seeing that result within 10 to 12 days. I guarantee you that. If you are someone who faces a lot of trouble in sleeping, just write this in the last section. So you're creating an action and read that. Nice, deep, relaxed sleep, and you'll get a good sleep. This is one of the ways of reframing, simple ways of reframing your mind. Yeah, so make that as one of your action, and take any other 3 actions, assign the other 3 actions basis the goal that you have. Okay, is it easy? Type in easy in the comment. Type in easy. This is the first way of implementing the 24/4/6 method to deal with your procrastination. Okay, I see that many people have joined here. Hi Pankaja, hi Devina, hi. Yes. Okay, nice to see you all. All right, let me now move on to this second aspect of 24/4/6 method. Okay, now once you've started implementing 24/4/6, implement it for 15 to 20 days of dividing those 24 hours into 4 sections. Once you have got the knack of it, got the habit of it, you will find that it's so easy for me to work on those actions. It's so easy for me to complete those actions. And when you start getting into that habit of completing that actions, your mind starts to get trained that yeah, it's so easy for me to achieve it. So once you have got that success, it becomes a daily effort for you. It's like brushing your teeth in the morning. You don't procrastinate, like I was saying in the start of this session. So it will become like brushing your teeth. It becomes so easy. Now comes the next step. So allow yourself to go a little more harder on that 24/4/6 method. Now we'll flip it. What we will do is, after those 15-20 days of practice, now what you start doing is, so again use the same method. Now instead of dividing the entire day into 4 sections. You divide your entire day into 6 sections of 4 hours each. So what are we doing here is, instead of having those 6 hours, we are compressing it to 4 hours. So divide your entire day into 6 segments of 4 hours each, and now your number of actions will increase just by 2 more. Instead of 4 actions, you will start taking 6 actions, and still you will have 4 hours to work on that particular action. Okay, now how does it work out? Again, if you're waking up at 6 a.m., so 6 a.m. se leke 10 baje tak, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. becomes your first segment, right? From 10 to 2 is your second, from 2 to 6 p.m. is your third, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, so these are your 6 segments and 6 actions. Assign 6 actions to each of those segments, right? So this is level 2. You do level 1, level 2, your life will be sorted. Your level of procrastination will come down so much that you will start thanking yourself. You will start feeling that, how is this even possible? But you will be doing it when you start working on this. So when we make things simple, now why does this technique work? Okay, when we start making things simple, and when we start allowing ourselves more flexibility, then we become very comfortable in doing certain things. Okay, and that's when we start enjoying it. And when we start enjoying it, we feel less fear. When we start enjoying it, we start feeling more motivated. When we start enjoying it, we start feeling less uncertainty, because here it's so certain कि ये 4 घंटे में 4 चीजें करनी है, ये 24 घंटों में 4 चीजें करनी है, 24 घंटों में 6 चीजें करनी है. So we become very certain. So there is planning without overwhelm, and that's why the 24/4/6 method works very, very well. Okay, so how did you find this method? How did you find this method? Let me know. Hi Anupama, it's good to see you. Are you going to, now if you're going to implement the 24/4/6 method, type in yes. Type in yes in the comment and let me know that you're going to implement. See, when there is, this allows you to take those small steps towards that action, towards that goal that you are working on, and that you will start feeling that there is no pressure, not much of pressure. There is less of anxiety in your daily routine, in your daily work. Okay, and it allows you to move towards and deal with that procrastination in such a simple way, isn't it? Okay, all right. So that was about 24/4/6 method, and one thought which I'll share with you while I'm coming to the close of the session is, look at the work that you are doing. Look at the goal that you have set for yourself. Is it motivating for you? Do you really want to work on that? Is it motivating for you? And if it is, then understand the reason why you're working on it. If you're working on a certain project, if you're working on a certain goal, how is it going to impact your other areas of your life? Make a connection to that. For example, if you're bad at managing money, I know that I was so bad at managing money, I'm learning that. So if you're bad at managing money, and if you are procrastinating on learning to how to invest or learning to how to manage money, it will show up in other areas of your life as well. It will show up on your health, because mentally you will start feeling that stress. It will show up in your relationship, because you will start getting into different kinds of arguments. Every time you will be under stress, under tension. It will show up in your work, in your profession as well, right? So one goal, you remember we did the wheel of life. That's why it's called a wheel of life, because when you're focusing on one area, it directly and indirectly starts impacting the other areas of our life as well. So use the 24/4/6 method so that your life becomes a little more simpler, because simple is good, isn't it? Okay, so that's about it, everyone, for week 8 implement the 24/4/6 method and let me know how it worked out for you. And we will meet once again in the next week, which is week 9. We are entering into the third month, okay? And it's going to become even more exciting from here on. I would love to hear from you all your suggestions on what you want to learn, okay? What you, whichever area of your life, whatever you want help on, whatever you want to learn, just let me know in the group. All of you, I think, are a part of the Facebook group. Type in the Facebook group or on my Facebook page, leave your choice of the topics that you want to learn, and I'll ensure that I will bring those topics to you in the remaining sessions that we have. We have an entire 8-10 months to go. Yeah? All right, so thank you everyone for joining me, for listening to me. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you in the next week, in week 9 of the 52 weeks of Unstoppable in 2021, where all of us, we are learning and growing together towards excellence in life and career. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Bye.